I received a message from Osho, sannyasin, and I want to share that message. It's a very, great, positive message. He says, Freddie, I hope this is alright to contact you this way. Your response to Wild Wild Country was so heartfelt. I was moved truly. I was at Rajneeshpuram in the early 80s, and I made all the meditations and helped bring into form the vision of Bhagwan Osho. The Buddha field continues to spread. No water, no moon. Our great teachers and guides sometimes reacted to it in all ways. I was at the ranch during the time of Osho's silence. The energy was so deep and beautiful. So many hearts opening in strength and beauty. Thank you for posting this video of your speaking. So I'm really thankful to get that message. I'm really thankful to connect, to this person that was actually with Osho. I mean, I think that it's amazing, to be able to communicate with somebody who actually met Osho face to face. To me, that's as significant as Linda Lee or Danny Insano or one of Bruce Lee's students who actually experienced the living expression of Bruce Lee. And for this person to actually meet Osho and study with him and learn from him and actually be a part of that community, it's an amazing thing, and this, I immediately naturally connect with Osho, and his followers and his disciples and his sannyasins. I feel there's a connection there. I think you have to be a very intelligent person to be a follower of Osho, because nobody will ever really be born into his teachings. He's like a living master. He was a living master, like a Lao Tzu, like a Buddha, like a Jesus. It's there's people that follow Christianity only because they're born into the religion where they're spoon-fed this from the time of birth, and they have no choice. But yet everybody is supportive of that. But with Osho, nobody is spoon-fed and fed this information from birth. They discover this information, or they discover his teachings later on in life, typically after college, and they've already developed an intelligent mind that's very doubtful of a lot of things out there, but yet they were still convinced. Not just convinced, but led towards the truth from his teachings. And that is more of that's a pure realization of truth. And it's sad that they would go ahead and try to label that as a cult, because that's like the opposite of that, and it's like you got to see a lot of the people following him when he was alive back then. They're even saying it in the documentary. These are like people that are educated, intelligent, people that are already surpassed, college and gotten all these degrees. If you can pretty much express to somebody these ideas and these truths that you see, and get them to see what you see, even after all this mental training that they've gone through, that right there is very significant. It's like a child comes, born into this world, and they're just fed whatever you give them. You give them spoiled milk, they drink it. You give them poison, they'll take it. You give them whatever you give them, they're gonna take. And that's what happens with these religions out there is just being pushed onto these children before they can even formulate their own thought processes. But yet, with Osho's teachings, you will probably never even find out about him until you're over 21 or even over 30. And by that time, your mind is so, stuck in its ways that it really takes somebody of immense insight, awareness, and spirituality and wisdom to take you out of your cave of enclosed thoughts. And Osho has been able to do that for thousands, if not millions of people. Actually, not just thousands, but millions of people all over this world. Because another Osho sannyasin actually called me the other day, and he said that there's over 2 million Osho followers in this world. And it's not really about being a follower, but it's just about being sensitive to truth. Like when you hear truth, then you head towards it, no matter if it's coming from Osho, Buddha, Lao Tzu, Jesus, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, Tupac. When you hear truth, you head towards it. And I am a seeker of truth. And Osho's teachings, they are an expression, a very close, direct expression of truth. Very profound. People that speak against Osho, well, I'll tell you this, if you are familiar with Eckhart Tolle and you love his teachings, you love his books, in my perspective, Eckhart Tolle is like the kindergarten development of meditation, and Osho is like beyond the professor. So Osho's way beyond Eckhart Tolle. Osho's like Michael Jordan, and Eckhart Tolle is like somebody who is playing elementary basketball, who can't even make it to the junior high basketball team. That's the difference. It's immense. And you really need to have deep insight and wisdom within yourself to see and understand his teachings. And if you don't, then it's more because you've probably been spoon-fed these teachings from whatever religion of this country, Christianity or whatever, where they just feed you this information. Hey, follow this leader because he walked on water. Follow this leader because he healed the blind. And they're telling you this stuff from the time you're born. And then you don't even have the intelligence to be able to make your own decisions. But Osho's teachings come into your life way after adulthood, and it challenges your beliefs, and it inspires you to head towards truth. So essentially the followers, the sannyasins of Osho, they're probably some of the most intelligent and wise people of this world, but they're hidden. And even if you look at that documentary, it'll support what I'm saying, because they were doing things beyond like what the average can do. They were setting up a community and of a utopia, but it's just that the government was essentially they were threatened by this community. The government was threatened by this community, and that's why they shut it down. Just like the government was threatened by Martin Luther King Jr., that's why he was assassinated. The government was threatened by Malcolm X, that's why he was assassinated. The government was threatened by Tupac Shakur. The government is threatened by outside influences that try to change the culture of what it is. The government wants violence. So when Osho comes along and he tries to teach you to be peaceful, they're not going to like that. They don't make money off of peace. They make money off of violence. All the ammunition that they sell, all the guns that they sell. You know, as soon as somebody dies, police get involved, the ambulance gets involved, the funeral gets involved. They make money off of death. So if you got somebody like Osho who's trying to not promote death but promote life, the government's not going to like that. The government's going to label that a cult. Someone that promotes peace and happiness and joy and bliss, they're going to label that a cult. And then MMA, alcohol, drugs, you know, the government, violence, the government supports that. They don't label the NRA a cult. The National Rifle Association, a bunch of people that own guns, they don't label that a cult. But they label Osho's ranch, designed to learn meditation and to find inner peace and happiness and to free yourself from ego and stress and competition. They label that a cult. You know, so they play mind games with people. But people that are not intelligent, they don't see that. And they go ahead and listen to these things that people are saying. And then they get further from the truth because their minds get even more closed off. You know, so I'm thankful, you know, to connect with this sannyasin right here, Osho's disciple that was actually there with them. And that's a big thing. You know, that's huge. And I'm going to continue to do what I'm doing. It's not just Osho I'm promoting Buddha, I'm promoting Lao Tzu, I'm promoting meditation, I'm promoting Zen, I'm promoting the Eastern teachings. I'm just promoting J. Krishnamurti. You know, I'm promoting the Eastern teachings that are needed here in America in order to help this country grow. You know, a big thing is gun violence right now. A big thing is violence right now, shootings in the schools and all that. These Eastern teachings will help cure that illness that we have, that mental illness that's causing all this violence, this MMA and these school shootings and all these murders. Well, the answers are within the East. Not just within Osho's teachings, but the teachings of the East, which Osho is a master of those teachings. That's where the answers are. And the government's going to label that as a threat because they don't want you to know the answers. They want you to continually be in sickness, physical sickness and mental sickness, so then they can profit off of you and your sickness and eventually your death. And that's real. That's what's going on. And if you don't believe me, put your effort in to study the teachings of the East. See where it's coming from. If you're scared of Osho's teachings because of all the controversy, okay, then study Buddha. You tell me, you know, about Buddha's teachings. Study him. Study Lao Tzu. And you'll see. But I'm very thankful for the message. And I wanted to share that message with the people. And, you know, we're not alone out there. We're not. There's people that see what we see. and it's just about us coming together and sharing, you know, that message. You know, that's what we're here for.